Have you ever lived inside a story that was never truly yours? Have you ever believed something about yourself simply because everyone else believed it first? In a quiet valley surrounded by tall golden grass, there once lived a herd of sheep. They were simple, peaceful, and careful creatures. They stayed together. They followed familiar paths. They never questioned the fences around them. And among them lived a lion. He had grown up there since he was a cub. No one knew how he had arrived. Perhaps the storm that struck the valley years ago had carried him there. Perhaps fate had written it that way. But from the very beginning, he had only known one thing. He was different. His legs were stronger. His voice was deeper. His reflection in the water did not look like theirs. But every time he asked about it, the sheep would laugh gently. "You're just a strange sheep," they would say. "Some of us are born unfortunate." And slowly, he believed them. When the flock ran in fear from distant thunder, he ran too. When they trembled at shadows, he trembled too. When they lowered their heads, he lowered his. Inside him, something restless moved. Low emotional build. A quiet fire, a pulse he could not explain. But each time that fire rose, he crushed it. Because standing out meant danger, questioning meant rejection, and rejection felt worse than fear. Years passed. He grew larger, stronger. His shoulders widened. His paws left deeper prints in the dirt. Yet he still chewed grass and tried to bleat like the others. It never sounded right. One afternoon, the valley trembled. Birds scattered into the sky. The sheep panicked. They rushed toward the narrow wooden gate that had always been their escape. And then they saw him. A massive lion stood on the ridge above them, golden mane, steady eyes, calm power. The herd screamed and scattered. The young lion ran with them, heart pounding wildly. But the older lion did not chase. He only watched. His eyes locked onto the trembling young one. Confusion flickered across his face. When the chaos settled, the older lion slowly descended into the valley. The sheep hid. The young lion tried to hide too, pressing himself into the ground, shaking. The older lion stopped in front of him. "What are you doing?" he asked calmly. I am a sheep," the young lion whispered. Silence. Then something unexpected. The older lion laughed, not cruelly, but in disbelief. "No," he said softly, "you are not." The young lion shook harder. "Please don't hurt me." "Hurt you?" The older lion lowered his head to meet his eyes. "You were not born to fear me." The words struck something deep. "I have lived here all my life," the young one insisted. "I eat grass. I run when they run. I am weak." The older lion studied him carefully. Then, without another word, he nudged him firmly toward the river at the edge of the valley. "Look." The young lion resisted at first, but when he finally lifted his eyes to the water, he froze. Two lions stared back. Not sheep, not weakness, power. His breathing changed. Something ancient moved inside his chest. "That is who you are," the older lion said quietly. "You have been acting small because it felt safe. But safety built on lies will always cage you." The young lion's mind raced. Memories flashed. Every moment he had silenced himself. Every time he had shrunk. Regret. "I don't know how to be that," he whispered. "You already are," came the reply. "You just forgot." Then the older lion stepped back and released a roar that shook the valley. Powerful. It rolled across the grass. It echoed against the hills. It vibrated in the young lion's bones. "Now you," he said. The young lion hesitated. Fear and power collided inside him. What if the sheep rejected him? What if he failed? What if he was wrong? But deeper than the fear was truth. He inhaled, and for the first time in his life, he did not bleat. He roared. He roared. It was raw, imperfect, shaking, but it was real. The valley fell silent. The sheep stared in disbelief, not at a monster, but at someone who had finally remembered himself. In that moment, nothing outside changed. The grass was still grass. The sky was still sky. But inside him, everything shifted. He did not become stronger that day. He simply stopped pretending to be weak. And sometimes that is the greatest transformation of all. You are not weak. You are not small. You are not what fear trained you to believe. You may have grown up in the wrong valley. You may have listened to the wrong voices, but the truth about you has never changed. Look into your reflection and remember,